If you're watching this video, you probably decided that there was some amount of value that I could provide you with by watching this video. So I'm glad you clicked on, and let's get on with it. Topic number 1. You are being controlled. Nowadays, we are so controlled by social media, by our phones, by all these big platforms, and none of us have actually realized it. I've watched people lose majority of their day simply just scrolling. Do you even understand how stupid you look with your feet in the air dangling on your bed while you're scrolling for an hour or so? Don't get me wrong, everyone deserves a break, but 9 times out of 10, you don't deserve that break that you're trying to take. People are literally so quantifiably lazy, it's actually insane. Half the time, you're just taking a break to escape doing the actual work. They've glorified taking the easy route. No one's talking about taking the risk, maybe being a little bit different. Having something about you that they just can't get rid of. That's called the risk factor. But you know what's good about the risk factor? It pays more. But here's the thing. You've all been conditioned into thinking that if you want that fast car, that nice view, and all of those things, the only way you're going to ever get a taste of it is if you actually watch it from another person's point of view. Believe it or not, that's a lie. And because of that lie, people have been conditioned into living another person's life. I mean, think about it. How consumed are you by another person's life that you follow on social media? You probably look at that McLaren and sit there and go, wow, that's so unachievable. There's no way that could ever be me. Or you look at that person that's actually taken the risk and decided that, wow, that's too embarrassing. That's too hard. I'm sure it'll pay out for them, but there's no way that could ever be me. But here's the thing. There are people that are way less qualified than you that will be getting paid 3 to 4 times the amount as you, simply because they were able to take the risk. They were able to stop being conditioned. They didn't listen to what everybody else was saying. They decided that they were going to break free from the loop. The conditioning wasn't going to be enough to stop them. For most people, that's unimaginable. But why is it unimaginable? It's because you've been conditioned to think that way. Obviously, you wouldn't be able to imagine it. You wouldn't be able to put yourself in that position because you don't think that it's possible. Why? Like I've said from the beginning of this video, you've been controlled. And the truth is, I probably don't even have to tell you this. You probably already know it yourself. And to give you some background, I used to be that way myself. I remember thinking to myself that as long as I worked a regular trade like everybody else does, I'd be content with that life. Even if it was hard, even if that meant that I wouldn't be able to live up the dreams that I actually had for myself. I thought to myself that being realistic was the best way to go about life because taking risks was unseen. Making a YouTube video where I would actually embarrass myself for the first time was too big of a risk. Attempting to be different was too big of a risk. Attempting to shine above the rest was too big of a risk. Here's the thing, everything was too big of a risk for me back then. And the truth is, if you keep thinking that way, everything will feel like it's too big of a risk because that's what you're told. And obviously, why would you ever change what you've been told over and over and over again? Why would you ever try to change that reality if that's what you believe in? I mean, seriously, who are you to go against the programming and say that you're different? Who are you to actually try to change something? Nobody tells you this, but if you keep listening to beliefs that are limiting your ability and your possibility, that will always be your limit. If you tell a smart person for long enough that they're dumb, they start to become dumber. If you tell a poor person that they could potentially become rich, they make the steps to actually becoming rich. If you tell a rich person that they'll go broke someday, they end up going broke somewhere down the line because they believe it. Those words have more than just power. They start to create illusions in your mind that lead to the universe bringing those things to you. And so you can study law of attraction, you can study all of these different things, but it all comes down to how you perceive it and what you start to do with that perception. And so after being controlled for such a long time and being told that the only time you'll ever get to look at that McLaren is through your phone, you start to actually believe that. You start to think to yourself, that's way too out of reach. That can never be me. Why could it never be you? It's because you believed it. You wanted it to be that way. Somewhere subconsciously, you felt content with that being your reality. But you know what? It doesn't have to be. That's where I urge you to stop being controlled. Take control of your own life. Stop listening to what other people have to say. And instead of being controlled, you take control. You take the reins. You choose your own future. You make your own future. And as long as you can imagine it, I promise it'll happen. So with that being said, I hope you understood why you were being controlled and how to break free from it. Thank you. If you enjoyed the video, hit a subscribe, drop a like, drop your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.